flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, may be seated.
I think we might be coming through on.
This morning, we have our greeters are Wendy and Jim Walters, and I'm going to ask if they would come forward to announce our guests, any guests that we may have. And I see Mr. Walters is in tow with the 50/50 drawing. He's a good guy today. Wait, we're not ready for that yet. No. We're going to announce our visitors first.
All right, good morning. We have one visitor this morning, Amy Jo Morris from Glen Cove Care Farm. She is our speaker. You could stand, we can greet you.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Amy. Welcome. We look forward to hearing your presentation a little bit later. Now, Mr. Waters is going to ask you to draw a ticket.
Three numbers are 630.
630.
Lesson learned on that. To live there by your kids.
Right, we have to try to see it.
30.
I see it here.
Okay.
Good job, Amy. That was a good tip. So now we'll move on to Happy Dollars. Blair.
I'm really a big spender this morning. I have $6. I'm going to break that out to two happy dollars. First of all, $3 for a good friend of mine in Rotary who has a birthday celebration tomorrow. Jim, happy birthday early. Secondly, based on the newsletter for this month, it looks like I will have joined this club 31 years ago as of Friday, this coming Friday. So happy to be a member of this club.
Congratulations. Any other happy dollars? Mr. Waters? Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry. I have, I'm going to give some happy dollars. You know, it's so neat and fun to see the Olympics taking place. And on Sunday, as things were wrapping up, my wife was like, she's like, it's so sad that, you know, we don't have this that continues on. But I want to point out, there are some more Olympics that are coming up. So the Paralympics actually start, I think, in another week or week and a half. And there's a young man that's participating who actually is a runner from Bucknell. And he just graduated, but he runs he's going to be running the 400-meter race. His name's Raven Sample is his last name, Raven Sample. But it's kind of neat to see someone that Grant ran with that's going to be in the Paralympics. We were actually watching him in the prelims and is making his way to actually be a part of the Paralympic team. So if you have a chance, just keep an eye out for that and see how he actually does. But it's kind of cool to see that happen. So I'm happy and proud for that. Anyone else? If not, I know, Karen, you have an announcement about our golf outing. Look out, she has her book with her.
That's right, it's serious business. All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, I'm going to give you a quick golf update today. We have 35 days, 5 weeks, 1 month, 4 days, and 804 hours until our golf outing on Tuesday, September 17th. Right now, we are only around $8,450 raised, and that number is coming from only 8 to 10 members of Rotary and about 2 to 3 family members of Rotary members. So let's get on it here, people, and get our registrations in. If you're not a golfer, that's okay. We have plenty other things that we can use help with. even a $25 donation card or gift card from your favorite restaurant, give it to Becky or myself, and we're gonna be putting together raffle baskets. I would draw your attention to the August newsletter that was sent out via email. If you deleted it, go back and read it. President Gregg had a good article in there about doing Rotary different. And I think we're all trying to do that with moving seats around, talking to new people. That can also consist of, if you can't donate monetarily, you can always come out and help us. We do have volunteers. I think it's the same volunteers that have consistently helped every year. So get out of your comfort zone a little bit. This is the only fundraiser that we do every year because that was what the group had wanted, one big fundraiser instead of nickel and diming everybody to death all the time. So I know you guys can do it. We're in the final push here, so get those registrations in. And I'm gonna walk the walk today. I'm gonna donate $91 to the golf fund because my father will turn 91 years old or 91 years old young tomorrow. So anyway, happy birthday to him and let's get going, people.
Thanks, Karen. Yeah, if you didn't have a chance to read the newsletter, I know that's not always something that everybody does, but just as a quick overview, I basically said for a long time, we've been fortunate that our business can be a sponsor of the golf outing. And always felt like, well, that's good enough. You know, we're making a contribution. But my way of saying that I need to do Rotary different is maybe it's not enough. And I should look and consider what businesses can I reach out to and see if we can get a sponsorship or a foursome or whatever to come from them. So I actually put that plan in motion. I've reached out to some other people here in the club that as a group, we're going to go or somehow we're going to approach Lehman Volvo and see if we can't get a sponsorship from them. So we'll see how it turns out. But I'd encourage all of you, you know, just think of others, even if you can't personally give monetarily. Maybe you can reach out to a business or someone that you may know that would be able to help sponsor the golf outing. And as Karen said, this is our one and only fundraiser. So we hope that we can get to close to that goal. You know, say $20,000 is what I would hope that we can do, which is pretty much what we've done in the past. And I think it's certainly an attainable goal. So let's do our best to do so. Jeff.
You should have 3 checks for $3,500.
Excellent. Look at that. That's fantastic. Other announcements. Elizabeth, do you want to say something about the picnic?
Something about the picnic. September 14th, that's a Saturday, starting at 4. I know a lot of you have been to our home and we'd love to welcome you back. And I know some of you haven't made it yet, but we'd love to have you come for a first-time visit. I think you'll enjoy yourself. The club will be providing hard-shell crabs like we normally do and some beverages. And I've heard a couple of potlucks that are going to be coming, but reach out to me, let me know. I know I had sent the invitation via a formal email and I got a lot of responses back, but if you haven't, let me know one way or the other, please do. And if any way you want to reach out to me, text, phone, email, talk to me in person, whatever. Well, we'd love to have a nice crowd there. I know the weather's going to be great. And even though it's a Penn State weekend, you know, if need be, we could get that Penn State game on the big screen.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Any other announcements? Actually, I'm going to throw out, tomorrow we have a board meeting. So anyone that wants to attend is more than welcome. That's at York Area United Fire Company out in East York. That begins at 7:30. So again, anybody that wants to attend is more than welcome. Anyone else? Good deal. If not, I'm going to ask Tim Kohler to come forward and introduce our speaker.
Thank you. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
I have the honor of welcoming Amy Jo Morris. Amy is a United States Marine veteran who holds a bachelor's degree in nursing and a master's in physiology. She's actively working as a nurse and has spent much of her career working in the mental health and addiction recovery area. In 1918, she transitioned her family farm into a nonprofit that supports the physical and mental health of local veterans. As the founder and director of Glen Hope Care Farm, her goal was to create a space for veterans to connect and heal. Let's all welcome Amy. Some supports better. And you can walk around if you like.
Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Great. Well, thank you, York East Rotarians. I'm happy to be here this morning. I'm so grateful to be able to share a little bit about Glen Hope Care Farm with you. So we are for veterans by veterans. Has become a second service for us. We do a veteran to veteran peer mentorship program at Glen Hope Care Farm. So here you can see pictures of some of our veterans who have connected and have experienced some of the healing that takes place at Glen Hope. So our mission is to help veterans overcome challenges, and we do that through on-farm activities, nature, and community outreach. Here you can see pictures of some of our activities. We do get involved with York College. Their Spartan Serve team comes out. We have a partnership with some of the local school districts. We offer an intern program for some of the younger folks. And we are part of Buy Local Coalition, so we host a lot of networking events at the farm as well. I think my background was reviewed in the bio, but there you have it. I am a third generation farmer. The farm has been in our family for 70 years. My grandfather was a real veteran, so not only was he a survivor of the Great War, but the Great Depression as well. So he definitely taught me to be resourceful, to be strong-willed and strong-minded. And creating the farm as a nonprofit was really an effort to not only honor his legacy that he has left, but also to serve the veterans of the community. So what is care farming? As part of our site, what does that mean? Upon the passing of my grandfather in 2015, I kind of, as a nurse, went down this rabbit hole of research to figure out how I could integrate healthcare and agriculture. At that time, working as a nurse, I had been in a lot of institutional settings, and I would have patients say to me all the time, you know, this is not a place of healing. They have the fluorescent lighting, they're kind of caged in, the food is not great. There's no plant life, there's no animals. And so that really kind of triggered me to, well, let's see what other countries are doing. So through some research, I found that other countries had some very successful outcomes with care farming. There was not a lot of empirical data, but there was a lot of subjective data. So myself and two other nursing colleagues, we spent about 3 years of research, a lot of data collection to see how we could fit that into the mold of Western medicine here in the US. And so that began the journey of Glen Hope Care Farm and the birth of care farming here in the US. And now there is actually a national organization for care farming. But care farming basically is taking farming practices and animal-assisted therapy, as well as horticulture therapy, and it helps to promote the healing of mental, physical, and overall well-being of the participant. It is a very nature-based healing, and again, veteran to veteran. So all these pictures here are some of the activities that we have done. The first one is Cornish hen harvesting. The second one, we were part of the 10,000 Trees Initiative with the Conservation District. We planted 470 trees. We called that the Trees for the Troops. And family members were able to honor a fallen hero if they wanted to and dedicate one of the trees. This picture here on the left, that is our very first veteran who we ever served at Glen Hope Care Farm. He was part of the Veterans Court, and we had a great opportunity to watch him really, really heal. He went on to go to college, and he's doing great right now. He's thriving, so that was really awesome. And the other gentleman, he is a soldier. He's being medically discharged currently down at Walter Reed. So he is still technically active duty, but he has come to the farm for hunting, fishing, and he was very interested in butchering and also wanted to partake in part of our beef that we produce on the farm. So he took part in butchering, and then he did get to have half of that beef for his family. So what are some of the benefits of care farming? We kind of reviewed that, but as I said, like a medical setting can be a very sterile environment, and though it is necessary, especially in acute situations where someone is having an issue with a disease that they're trying to get under control. Care farming is great when there is this gap or this lull, and we're just trying to be that bridge when veterans are awaiting services. So if they're kind of bottlenecked at the VA, we can offer things on the farm to accompany other therapies that they're doing. So how that helps is the mental health component. We have seen improved mood, self-esteem, better coping skills, decreased anger, less confusion, and less tension. Through physical health, they have increased their strength, their stamina, their blood pressure goes down, their heart rate is more regulated. We did have 3 veterans. It was in the very first picture. Those 3 gentlemen went on to be state constables. So for all of 2022, they came to the farm about 3 days a week. And we had what was called Farm Fit. It was like military PT and obstacle courses. And we helped them to get ready for their new journey as state constables. The social connection, it's just a very disarming space, and they're standing shoulder to shoulder in camaraderie with others that have been through what they've been through. So there's an understanding. It's not like other situations where they may be speaking to someone and they're trying to go through the process, but the other person has not been in that situation, so they don't understand the situation. Here, they're side by side with someone who's been through what they've been through. Overall well-being, one of the things that we've noticed is with a lot of veterans, they don't sleep well because of night terrors or just having been in combat for a very long time, there's that hypervigilance. So that work on the farm, being in fresh air, being in a green environment, they have improved sleep because of the farm activities. So you can see here, we just kind of reviewed traditional therapies versus care farming. The riders, every year we do a ride against suicide. One of the veterans who participated on the farm, he's kept it going for 6 years now, but we lose a lot of veterans to suicide. And so every year we have an initiative and we do the ride against suicide. And that was during COVID. So we ended the ride at the farm. Healthy living outdoors, of course, fresh air. So much to be said about that. You know, if you work in an office or you're indoors all day, you know how good it feels just to go outside and kind of breathe some fresh air. But there are actually medical connections with it aids in digestion. It helps increase your serotonin levels, which is your happy or happy hormone, or it helps to improve your immune system, it helps to clear your lungs, and it increases your levels of energy and sharpens your mind. Sunlight, of course, I don't know if any of you experience this, a lot of people have low vitamin D levels, and most of us do because we spend a lot of time inside. So being out in sunlight, that produces natural vitamin D. And animals, they release a hormone called oxytocin, which is our bonding or like our trust hormone. So when you are connected with animals, that actually helps you to improve your ability to trust and bond with others. So for a lot of veterans who are very, may experience distrust issues, like after coming back from combat, working with animals helps with that. So these are just some of the farm activities that we do have available. Anything, so we're 50 acres and 23 of those acres are wooded. So a lot of our veterans, they'll come, and Otter Creek flows through the property. So every year we do a fishing derby. We do that in partnership with the Conservation District, the Boat and Fish Commission. So all veterans and their families can come out and experience a wonderful day at no charge, and we do the stocking of the creek. Throughout the hunting season, we have veterans come out to hunt. During turkey season, we have veterans come out to hunt turkey. If they want to hike, if they want to picnic, if they want to target practice, they're able to do those things as well. But then we also have a more structured program where they can learn animal husbandry or horticulture therapy. And these are some of the subgroups under those groups. So programs and services for veterans and their families. We partner with Shine Music Foundation, Peter Botros, to do Rock with the Veterans. That is every other Sunday for 10 months of the year. We have a beautiful setting situated by the creek and the pond, and we have a large fire pit. We do instructional guitar lessons down by the creek, and then we always offer refreshments. We have the whole family come out. The kids can play the many games that are available, or they can play in the creek while mom, dad take the guitar lesson. But the children can participate in the guitar lesson as well. We talked about the annual fishing derby. Crafts by the Creek, we do a wood crafting course. You can see that picture there on the right side. It's usually a three-dimensional patriotic wood wall plaque, and they get to take that with them. We are a 24/7 sanctuary retreat for veterans. If they're in their head or they're just struggling or they want to be in a space by themselves, they can come to the front. We do have hammocking and other just relaxing meditative areas where they can be as well. Food donation, that is a big part of what we do. My grandmother, she expressed love through food. So I think we do that too through our food donations. We donate a lot of food each year. Up in the right-hand corner there, you can see one of the veterans holding a turkey. That was from last year. We donated 333 pounds of turkey to veterans and veterans organizations. Every year we have a fall festival and other events throughout the year. And at Valentine's Day, we serve veterans in long-term care, assisted living, and other areas where veterans may not see loved ones. And we take them what are called Veterantines, and they're little wooden valentines for the veterans. So we go to each of the assisted livings and long-term care facilities and honor them. There's Rock with the Veterans. I mentioned that. You can kind of see in those pictures, it captures and illustrates just what we do down there. The upper left-hand corner, that's our 9/11 terrorist breakfast. In 2020, I wanted to do something. We had been shut in for so long. September rolled around and we decided, the board and I, that we were going to do a 9/11 terrorist breakfast. So we've been doing that for first line responders and for veterans every year since 2020. The middle picture, that is a pup that we were fostering during his dad's deployment. And then the woman, she is the widow of a Marine, and we helped, every year we help to cut firewood for her since her husband passed. So she drew a picture of Roscoe. So we were just taking a picture of that. And then the kids, they love the animals. We had some baby goats. You can see them participating there. There's some of our food donations. I apologize for the second one to the right. But that's what we do on the farm. The numbers are there. In 2024, so far, we've donated 550 pounds of pork, some whole pigs, a Boer piglet to an Afghanistan veteran who was trying to start his own homesteading, and 278 pounds of beef. Each week we donate about 30 dozen eggs to different veterans and veterans organizations. And for those veterans who are food insecure, we have raised bed gardens and we send out farmers baskets to them each week. The ways that you can get involved or help, we're always looking for volunteers. You can donate corporate sponsorships or individual sponsorships or sponsoring an event. We also host celebrations. So we've done weddings, we've done graduation parties, birthday parties, family reunions, and then off-site we offer catering. Our information is there for you. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
How did you choose your name?
Oh, that is a great question. Thank you for asking that. So my grandfather's name is Glenn, and my dad's name is Glenn. So my dad is Junior. And a Glen is a narrow valley, English Gaelic interpretation, right? And what is the thing that we've all been in that narrow valley, but the thing that pulls us through is hope. So we are, and the farm geographically, we're situated in a narrow valley. We're down in the valley. So I thought how fitting, we've all been through that narrow valley, but the thing that gets us through is hope. So in honor of my grandfather, Glenn, and then hope, because that's the most powerful four-letter word in the English language. Yes.
How many people, veterans, participate in your program?
That's another good question. So I did do the numbers. Last year, we served 889 veterans and locally, and that was through food distribution, on-farm activities, and large group activities, and getting our veteran times out as well. So we do not have any paid employees. It's me and my dad, and then the volunteers and veterans. And my mom. My mom's in the background doing the cooking and feeding us all the time. Yeah.
So then how many are actually still?
On the farm, so I'm guesstimating. So each week we serve, well, every other week we serve about 25 just with Rock with the Veterans. And we do that for about 10 months. So several hundred, and I'm just spitballing right now. Yeah, I'm not sure of the actual number. Go ahead.
Do veterans stay overnight or is it just a day program?
Right now, we do not have a residential program. It is in the talks for the future, but there are certain regulations surrounding that. So we are working toward that. We did host our very first VA OJT apprenticeship program in 2022. We had gotten funding through the York County Veteran Outreach. So there was a veteran, he had been in prison they call it the Freedom Pod, but he had to go through extensive treatment. So we fostered his dog. When he was leaving Lebanon to go to Butler for his long-term treatment, he stopped to see his dog and the farm. At that point, he kind of mentioned he had an interest in agriculture. And I knew there was a program that existed that was called Troops to Tractors, where they connect veterans to farming and that they can use their post 9/11 GI Bill. So for the duration that he was in treatment, I did the research. We were able to get designated through the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, and the VA is a designated site to offer the VA OJT apprenticeship. So we did have an apprenticeship program, but it was not residential. But we're looking toward what is called Voc Rehab with Walter Reed, but we would have to have on premises residential living. So We've talked about the tiny houses, like the community up in Dauphin County. I have relationships with them, so there are things in the works. We're just not quite there yet.
You said this and I didn't catch it, but how, if I were a veteran,
Mhm.
how would I get involved with your farm?
Sure. So they can reach out to me directly, but also on our website, which is listed there for you.
The initiative would be fine with that.
Yeah, so they can do self-referral, but we're also very involved in the veteran community and with the VA. So they refer veterans to us as well. And other community partners. We have had a lot of veterans come to us through other community partners. And then our paperwork is pretty streamlined. Some organizations will not allow a veteran to participate if they've had a dishonorable discharge. But we do not exclude veterans for dishonorable discharges because I don't want to hold something against a veteran if they made that mistake when they were 20. I mean, we all made mistakes at 20. So, and I can't really discriminate as far as like they did volunteer for service, and sometimes a dishonorable discharge can just be a misunderstanding too.
You get involved in all of the veterans court?
Yes, yes. One of the pictures, it did show Ryan. He was our very first veteran and he came from the vet court. And then actually our following three came from the vet court as well. One of the barriers we have with the vet court is if they are not able to drive. So, and they also have a lot of treatments that they're going through at that time. And if they're called to do a random urine, you know, that can be a barrier as well. But we did make it through. Ryan actually had his driver's license, so it worked out well. He was able to drive to us. Yes,
Is your training the Marines help you at all with what you're doing now?
I would say so. And being the daughter, so my dad didn't have any sons, so I was it. I have a sister, but yeah, I think Dad and Pat groomed me from a little girl, and then of course joining the Marine Corps. So I would say all of that has helped me to do this. And honestly, just being in camaraderie with the vets, like, you know, you put a couple of veterans together, you can get a lot done. So, yes.
Do you have geographic boundaries? Take veterans just from your county or a specific area?
So some of our funding, because it comes from the York County Veteran Outreach, we do have to serve only the York County, well, York and Adams. We're allowed to do York and Adams. We did just donate a riding lawnmower and produce and eggs to the new tiny home village up in Dauphin County, but that was through different funding. And then we also do serve Walter Reed area as well. I send eggs down to them with a veteran who comes to the farm. So I always send eggs back with him as well. So it depends on the funding. Some of it we have to keep right here in York County, but then we have reached out as far as Maryland and Dauphin County.
So if I'm a veteran from Maryland, let's say, can I come to your farm?
Yeah, yeah, and actually, the one Afghanistan veteran that I was talking about, he, in 22, we donated 3 pigs so he could start his pig production. And then he decided he wanted to learn how to breed. So then this past February, he came up for a boar so that he could start. Yes.
I hear a lot of your giving to the community in a lot of different ways. How do you raise your funds?
That is a good question. So the last 2 years we had received funding from York County Veteran Outreach. And honestly, that is what has kept us going. 2 things I didn't mention when this all started, we had a catastrophic flood. So we had just been designated a 501c3. And then August 31st, 2018, this flood leveled our property. You may remember it. We had 10 inches of rain in an hour, and Otter Creek flows through the property. So it was like, all right, well, we have a care farm, or we're designated a care farm, but now I have no farm. So it took about 2 years, 8 months, and 5 days to repair. And then after that, the pandemic hit. So there have been a lot of challenges along the way. Initially, it was a lot of my own personal investment. I sold my home, I moved in with my parents. I have since moved out of my parents, but there were a lot of things that kept us going. And then like I said, the last 2 years, the York County Veterans Outreach. We do fundraising, we do receive donations. We are actively seeking sponsorships. And I do have a strategy coach I'm working with through the York County Veterans Outreach that they're helping to make us sustainable for years to come. Yes,
How large is the farm?
it's 50 acres.
And what kinds of animals do you have on the farm?
We have pigs, goats, cows, turkeys, chickens, bunnies, and that's it.
Are there any other questions? Let's all give the evening a brief round. So, as you can state here, so I was telling you that we created a book to Modex Academy in honor of our speakers. And she just happened to mention, she's like, oh, well, I wrote a children's book, and that would be so neat if we could get one of her books to be able to give to the Modex Academy in the future. So it's amazing all the different things that she has accomplished. So let's again give a nice round of applause. Thank you so much.
Greg, real quick, share chatted in that Amy also currently is helping connect Gold Star mothers as well. So another connection to the group.
Wonderful, wonderful program. I don't have any other announcements to make other than, again, our board meeting is tomorrow. One thing I've been thinking about this for quite some time, and I've had this whole slogan of do Rotary different. And I just kind of want all of you to think about, did you enjoy the program today? Did you enjoy sitting at a different table and meeting some different people? If you did, ask somebody else to come. Somebody else will probably enjoy hearing a fantastic program like this. And that's the way that we're going to help the Maker Club grow. So think about how you can do Rotary different. Everybody, I hope you have a great week.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.